Striving involves putting in a great deal of effort to obtain or achieve something, especially when that thing seems like it is outside of our grasp. To strive has been an invaluable asset for human survival, cultural progress, and personal development. However, too much striving within our lives without its opposite, which for the moment I'll simply call non-striving, can lead to a significant impact upon our general health and well-being. Let's take a look at what I think are the three main hindrances to making striving the singular attitude within our life, and then I will explore striving in climbing. 1. We miss everything else. 2. We block healing. 3. We get in our own way. We miss everything else. When we use striving as our only tool for well-being, it is like running towards a rainbow in the hope that a pot of gold will be enough to leave us feeling fulfilled. Ultimately, we would be left running forever, moving from outcome to outcome, yet leaving us unfulfilled and exhausted. Our fixation on gaining something in the future obscures all the little details and opportunities that surround us in the present moment. We block healing. Psychologist Paul Gilbert refers to the nervous system as having three distinct functions: the threat, drive, and soothe. We have evolved to survive and be healthy by utilizing all three systems. However, as humans, we may be fairly unique that we can easily become unbalanced in our use of them. We often end up in the threat system due to pressures from work or trying to live up to impossible standards, and we frequently use the drive system as an attempt to escape our threats or to get what we want, or at least what we think we want. The soothe system kicks in when there are no threats, or when we are not focused on obtaining a goal, a desire, or a craving. This can mean that without deliberate intention or a safe and supportive environment, the soothe system may very rarely get a look in. Neglecting our soothe system means that we inhibit our ability to repair or strengthen our physical and psychological well-being. It will often mean that the very activities that we would like to be fun become difficult and perhaps feel like a burden rather than a pleasure, and paradoxically, it also means that to perform to our best ability is often reduced because our body and our mind are in a desperate need of rest. We get in our own way. I have covered this topic a few times in some of my other videos. See description below for more detailed examples. But in short, striving places our focus on trying to control the unconscious functions of the body and mind. In doing this, we can find that we become physically uptight and clumsy. Moreover, by creating a sense of competition with ourself and also the world, we become so attached to living in the pseudo-reality of our thoughts about our identity, our desires, and our self-worth, that we experience an additional amount of unnecessary suffering, such as anxiety, frustration, and disappointment. All of this ultimately blocks our ability to flow and have a pleasant time. So what is non-striving? Non-striving is about being able to be awake in the present moment as it unfolds. It tends to mean that our soothe system can be active. It allows us to feel safe and content, and it allows us to respond to life with more energy and creativity. Non-striving doesn't always mean rosy feelings. In fact, it also means that we have to lay out the welcome mat to all the difficult sensations and thoughts that arise within us as we experience them. This might mean noticing feelings of jealousy, disappointment, apprehension and fear, or thoughts about our own self-worth. However, because we are working at being in the present moment without judgment, it means we don't have to add on any extra layers of analysis or daydreaming about them. We notice them arrive, and we also get to notice them change or get replaced by the next sensation to take its place. By spending time each day cultivating a presence of non-striving, we are able to create more of a balance in our lives between striving and simply just being. Walking the path between these two extreme modes of carrying out our daily life is what Buddhists would describe as the middle way. How do we not strive? Non-striving is a bit of a paradox. In order to formally practice non-striving, we have to first do something, and also set and maintain an intention or focus. In the example of meditation, our doing comes from sitting or lying still, and our intention might be to watch our breath and to gently return our attention whenever it wanders. We must hold in our mind that we're not trying to get anywhere or achieve any particular outcome, not even the desire to be more relaxed or content, which is why sitting still is a good place to start, because once we involve movement, it's tempting to want to increase our strength, flexibility, or gracefulness. This kind of formal practice allows us to strengthen our ability to maintain our attention in the present moment and without judgment. Over time, we find that we can either deliberately bring it into other aspects of our lives, or perhaps notice that we naturally have brief moments of it when we would normally be desiring to put effort into reaching and grasping. Can we climb and not strive? The answer is yes, but it can be tricky. Viewed through the lens of striving, climbing is a way of physically and psychologically developing ourselves through adversity and reaching set goals. However, through the lens of non-striving, we can have moments of being awake in the present moment without desiring any particular outcome, and we can feel content with simply being in the present moment regardless of what occurs. In this space of non-judgment and acceptance of whatever arises, we can also allow ourselves not to be pushed and pulled by our emotions into following certain actions or behaviours. Instead, we can watch our desires and our fears arise and dissolve without reacting to them or trying to fix them, for example by trying to climb harder or making excuses for ourselves. Through non-striving, it is still possible to climb to the highest level and to exert physical effort. In fact, because we are not in competition with ourselves, others, or the universe, and instead we are in tune with the present moment as it unfolds, we have much more potential to move and to respond intuitively, and without a nervous energy. In other words, when we are non-striving, everything stays the same, and at the same time, it is totally different. To formally practice non-striving in climbing, it is advisable to first build a foundation of meditation or mindfulness practice, and then to bring it into climbing. Start by choosing one incredibly easy climb that you would never normally choose, so that there is no hidden agenda for personal development, and become the watcher of your thoughts, senses, and feelings before, during, and after the climb. Return to this same climb as often as possible to repeat the practice. Remember that throughout the process, we are not trying to get anywhere or achieve anything. Our only focus is to be awake to the present moment and notice what arises without judgment. It is useful to bring our attention onto our breath and body as a means for returning our mind when we have found it has wandered. Through a formal practice, non-striving can also creep into other aspects of climbing more informally, and we may notice little moments where normally the body and mind would be wound tight with the desire to perform or impress, but now there are just sensations and feelings of the movement on rock and the sounds that we can hear around us. We will never only strive, and we will never always be entirely awake to the present moment without judgment. The balance and the middle way lies somewhere in the intentional interplay between both doing and being. It is a tricky path to walk, and it requires patience and, above all, self-kindness as we explore the spaces of our own well-being. I wish you a pleasant life and awesome climbing. I'd just like to say a massive thank you to all my Patreons who have supported me for the last year or two now. And if anyone else would like to join my Patreon channel, then see the link below where you can help to support this channel to grow. Thank you.